The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles. And broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Wake up, Cowboys Nation. Welcome into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison. Ladies, what's poppin'? Good morning. Unfortunately, it is not a good morning, though, because the Cowboys got a loss in Week 15 against the Minnesota Vikings. You talk about 34-26, the final in that game. Now 6-7-1 in the season. I don't think anybody thought that would have happened the way that it happened, ladies. So just talk about, obviously, biggest takeaway from that game. And we'll start on the offensive side of the ball. Christy, I'll start with you.
Everything to play for. You can't convert a third down. You can't get a big play. Mm-hmm. They're doing all of the things that everyone talked about during the week coming into the game with Brian Flores and the way they mix things up and blitz and the pressures. And the Cowboys ran the ball well, but they couldn't get the explosive plays through the air and were terrible on third down, stalled in the red zone, and you know that it's a bad night when your all-pro kicker misses 2 field goals. So, yeah. They got the better of you. They got the Vikings defense with what they did with their coverages, the way they mixed things up, fire blitzes, all sorts of things like that, fire zones. The Vikings played better last night. They were the better team last night.
Fair. Aisha?
Yeah, we broke it down, and we talked about a lot of the stuff that we were all kind of worried about in this game. And what we thought the Minnesota Vikings were going to be able to do against Dallas. But really the two things that stand out to me the most were you lose Hunter Lipke during the game. You lose Javonte Williams during the game. Those are two of your better blitz pickup players, running back guys in the backfield. Your tackles, again, struggled. The offensive line struggled. The areas in which that we talked about that if Dallas was able to block it up, that they would be able to take advantage downfield. But because the offensive line couldn't hold on, Dak was under pressure all night. I saw his arm get hit so much. He was thrown off platforms, not being able to follow through throws, guys in his lap. So that's probably the biggest thing from the offense is you couldn't take advantage of the stuff that, you wanted to against the blitz because you didn't have the time from the offensive line to throw the ball downfield. And defensively, you can't start the game blitzing, and then you just don't. We talked about it. Like, if you keep this quarterback clean, he can dice you up. And that's exactly what he did. Christy mentioned the inability to get off the field on third down. Yeah. And what really stood out is not bringing pressure on third down. You're not getting home with 4 consistently. So I just really was disappointed in kind of how the game started and then how it trickled down the rest of the game is that it wasn't consistent. I mean, they just didn't play sound defensive football, but really I think that would have made a difference if you were able to pressure this quarterback. So those are the two things that stood out to me, and then obviously special teams.
Yeah, there's a lot to pull from this game, but from your question, Nicole, if we're just talking about the offense to start, because there's a lot to pull from the defense as well. Did not expect a shootout against J.J. McCarthy, one of the statistically worst quarterbacks in the league. We picked him apart and, thought this would be pretty, I don't want to say easy. It was the NFL at the end of the day. But to see literally go into halftime and it be as close as this game was, and then to still be late in the half and you're starting to look like, okay, they're not going to pick it up because this team does have a way to turn up in the second half. A lot of questions offensively, what was happening, specifically that last offensive drive going into halftime. To Aisha's point, when Javonte Williams came out, it was noticed. Glad he came back in, but just to see poor Malik Davis try to stand on his own there, he was getting pushed around a little bit. And that's nothing to take away from his game. He's just he doesn't bring that physicality trait there. Goodness gracious, you could just talk about the offense really all day. It was very disappointing. I don't know if it was the scheme. I mean, I didn't see anything that here we didn't talk about, like schematically from the other side. I did see Dak have so little time to get rid of the football, and someone next to me is like, why won't they go for the ball downfield? And I'm like, you think you got time to
You can't.
to see it? Like, it's going so fast. But yeah, it's just overall for, again, just offense, just taking Javonte Williams out, that I noticed that offensive line struggled. Again, all the weight on Dak's shoulders. And I think the biggest disappointment from this offensively, when you beat the other team in the air and on the ground, and you win the turnover battle, and you come out with the loss, I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah. I mean, when you also score touchdowns on just 2 of your 10 possessions, you can't obviously win football games like that. And I believe it was Ryan Flanoy that made a point about, Dak Prescott having to get the ball out quick. Someone asked him about, George Pickens only 33 receiving yards. And he was like, well, I mean, they were disguising pretty well. We didn't really have much time to, do much downfield. But when you talk about the run game, we discussed it a lot on this podcast throughout the week, breaking it all down, and said they need to establish a run game. And even with, Javonte Williams out, obviously not much success there, but with him there in this game, 91 rushing yards for him alone, do you feel like it was enough to at least try to still get things going in the passing game, Aisha?
I mean, I thought that they did see when he came back. Javonte's a tough dude.
Yes.
He ran the ball efficiently when he
did.
did come back. They were able to get some holes to open up for him in the interior.
Yeah.
But really and we talked about that. I thought that was great, is that we said that Dallas should be able to run the ball against some of these blitzes, because they also, Minnesota also run blitzes. But it just wasn't enough time for Dak Prescott to sit in the pocket and to make passes downfield. I mean, you also mentioned the disguising on the back end. These guys are dropping guys in covers. These guys are sending guys. So that's already kind of a chess match. I didn't think that Dallas had a counter to it. And again, it is far harder to counter when your offensive line's not holding up. But I think that was the main thing, is that for the second week in a row, I kind of felt like the other team, again, was prepared for whatever your next swing was, and then the next swing after that, and the next swing after that, and you was ready for like the first round. Does that make sense?
That's fair.
That's how I felt.
And I think it's also difficult because I don't think you can really replicate what Brian Flores does in practice throughout the week.
No, he crazy.
No. He's in a good way.
Please.
Yeah, he crazy. Yeah. He look like yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah, he look crazy.
Yeah. Christy.
Yeah, well, there was one play where Harrison Smith, who's a safety, arguably future Hall of Famer, he's up defensive left side, and just before the snap, he bails and literally turns and sprints back 15 yards. And so the time, it has to do with a coach taking advantage, Brian Flores in this case, the defensive coordinator for the Vikings, of the savvy of the defensive players who are veterans, and the timing has to be exactly right to pull off a lot of these things, because if Smith does it a second earlier or 2 seconds earlier, then there's time for the offense to react. And it's because here's the thing, it's not just Dak seeing it, it's everybody seeing it, and you're absolutely sure that you and the receiver, and even your protection, everybody's on the same page. But when they time it the way that they did, it's just that higher degree of difficulty. And they just got you. They got you. So give credit to the Vikings.
Of course.
Terrific game for their defense. And you weren't able to stick with the run. Well, the Cowboys were efficient with the run, but, you just stalling in the red zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing that Dak, part of the 2-part question that he was asking at the end of, we didn't have an answer for cover 0 and we couldn't score in the red zone. Like, pretty simple. And that's what this is. You lose by this much when you can't do that. One thing that stood out to me is what kind of not. It wasn't like last week. I know everyone's like George Pickens' game. They took him out of that game. Like, they figured out they were not giving that up. And I think that was, when they did have that double coverage, it's like, why can't this offense figure it out if two guys are on Pickens? I think that was a frustration. And it's like those little flash, like Schoonmaker. We were just talking about him last show, and then he gets that big catch. Mingo, we haven't said that name in a while, gets that big catch. So they have the guys who can make the plays, but it just wasn't coming together altogether at the right time.
And it's great. Well, they actually, and even then though, like, this team still had opportunities. Like, you look back,
They're always in it.
Always in it. And there was one drive specifically. It was their third drive of the second half, and down 24-23, and that's where Dak got sacked for a loss of 4. Obviously, Brandon Aubrey missed the 59-yard field goal, but there were still some opportunities for this offense to still try to get some things going. Christy, for you, at what point do you feel like that momentum changed for this team, if there was a momentum change for you?
Oh, wow. I think the dispiriting parts were the missed field goals. But I didn't really feel like they had momentum
I was about to say.
anytime after the middle part of the first quarter. I mean,
That's fair.
The game could not have started better. You get an interception. Your big man, Quinnen Williams, the first in his career. I mean, great play. That was Donovan Wilson who came in and batted the ball up. Quinnen Williams makes a good play for the interception. And then Javonte Williams does suffer the shoulder injury 2 plays before he comes back in and punches it in for 1 yard touchdown. And you take the early 7-0 lead. But when they pulled off that fake field goal in that drive to
you're like,
there,
So
you're
they-
like,
I said,
you're
y'all
like,
could do
oh.
that? Y'all had that?
Hey, they've had that all year. Hey,
Yeah.
you want to know something funny about that?
That was so fun.
So here's the thing. Brian Anger, who's the holder, so he's on one knee to take this snap from Trent Sig, place the ball down for Aubrey to kick. Well, Anger stays on one knee and literally flips the ball over his shoulder to Aubrey, who's going to run for the first down. Brian Anger told me later that evening that when he flipped it over his shoulder, the ball grazed off the side of his helmet. So he nearly screwed up the.
I thought it was a really
The
good
toss.
flip. I thought the timing was. It looked good. And everything.
It looked good, but he said it actually grazed off the side of his helmet. But they've been working on that play many weeks in practice, and they finally got to show it. But I thought, all right, here we go. An interception, a fake field goal, run the ball in for a score. All right.
And then
Yeah.
When did you know?
I knew it was over. I knew it was going downhill when CJ Ham made it into the end zone. And then you look up his stats, and that is his only stat of the season. That was his first carry this season, and it's a touchdown against the Cowboys.
Yeah, that was
That's
that
when
was
I
late.
was like,
That was
the
the third
dagger
quarter.
for
You're
me.
like,
You know,
okay.
it's interesting. When I was watching film this week, they've been setting that up for a long time. It's funny that they just decided to use it with Dallas because they always line him up kind of, like misalign him, I guess you want to say, put him to the outside just so they can get some leverage. And he's I know that I have a lot of respect for him because he's been there through multiple regimes. He's been a constant for them. And so when you see that, you're like, okay, something about you must be good for this team. I think I knew at the half when they couldn't go down there and score at the half in that 2-minute warning. We know Dak Prescott is fantastic in the hurry up. And when they could not still figure it out then, I was like, oh, no, y'all. And then when they came out after the half and another field goal, yeah, when your 6 turned into 7, oh, God, somebody's kid somewhere is doing the hand motions.
All right, we're going to take our first break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. Keep diving into this matchup. Cowboys fall to the Minnesota Vikings. We're still here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, and break it all down. We'll be right back.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Heck of a win, fellas.
Coach, the Cowboys beat us by 30 points.
No, I'm talking about my dog. He started eating fresh food from the farmer's dog and has lost 7 pounds.
Your senior dog with joint issues?
That's right, Steven. The pre-portioned meals of real meat and veggies help keep him lean, active, and feeling like a puppy again.
That's incredible. But what about the game?
The Cowboys smoked us. Hit the field, run some sprints.
Get 50% off your first box of the official pet food of the Dallas Cowboys. Only at thefarmersdog.com/Cowboys.
How does the cheerleaders' hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
Celebrate the season at Cowboys Christmas Extravaganza powered by Reliant at the Star in Frisco. Join us every Friday and Saturday night from November 21st to December 20th for an electrifying holiday performance. For details, visit thestardistrict.com.
Wake up!
You know what? Normally I'd be stressed out, but I think I kind of needed it.
You needed it this morning? You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. All right, time to talk Cowboys defense. I feel like we talked about this on the show. I mean, we always do, right? We do a great job of breaking down everything. We talked about how...
Sorry, you just gave us a pat on the back.
All of us. We did talk about how much this Cowboys defense needed to put pressure on a young quarterback like J.J. McCarthy. Unfortunately, they did not stick with it. Shout out to Bobby Belt because he be clutch with the numbers. J.J. McCarthy had a 60.7 passer rating against the blitz this season. But Dallas blitzed McCarthy just 7 times, including once in the second half. Y'all want to know what he did during that time? I bet. McCarthy went 3 for 6 with 41 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and a 72.2 passer rating. With no blitz, he was 12 for 18 for 209 yards, 1 touchdown, and 124.5 passer rating. Aisha, I'm going to start with you because you look stressed. And I want to know your thoughts. I feel like we texted about this too. We were like, they're giving him too much time to just deal and have a time of his life. What went wrong and what would you have liked to see from a Matt Eberflus?
I think we've been talking about it all year to some extent about, just, I think in the last couple games we've seen Dallas come out, be a little bit more, like Christy talked about, at the start of this game, you like, oh, okay, they sending overshown on blitzes and stuff. You like, okay, like they're really intently trying to get to the quarterback. It's evident that they know they have to affect him. Another stat by Bobby Bell, Matt Eberflus blitz rate over the last 2 weeks. First quarter, 60%. Second through fourth is 13.6. And again, I understand there's other factors as to why maybe he decided not to blitz. But, when you see you not affecting it, rushing 3 is crazy.
Yeah.
Not bringing any pressure on a 3rd and 7, a key 3rd and 7, to you ladies' point earlier about, hey, you did have chances to go win this game. The lack of aggression in that sense, and again, I'm not acting like I'm a coach. I'm not acting like I know no better. I just know, like Nicole said, what the film showed me. And what the film showed me is that if this dude is kept clean, he will dice you up. So you got to figure out how to affect them, and Dallas just didn't have it like that. I was disappointed in some of the interior defensive line play when it comes to the pass rush. So I don't know. I don't know what the plan is, because it's like if that was the plan, the first quarter, like Christy was talking about, like, okay, Okay, we blitzing, we kind of mixing up stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
But then to like completely divert from it when you've seen some success, like Nicole just said with it, I don't understand. And I just don't think that you gave your secondary any help. And I just don't think that you really set yourself up to be able to get off the field like you ladies were talking about.
Yeah, that's a question I actually thought about asking Shadi today is like, what's something that y'all are seeing that we're not necessarily seeing that's keeping you guys from keeping your foot on the gas, you know? Just because I feel like that's happened over the last couple of weeks. Like, you'll start blitzing, you see the quarterbacks rattled, and then you kind of take your foot off the gas. Am I wrong? Am I tripping?
I mean, we thought that it could be like a back end thing, right, Christy? Like maybe you're nervous about your secondary. Maybe you're
Yeah.
I know, but you gonna get toe up. You getting toe up anyway.
Yeah.
You might as well risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah. Well, you know, and the few times that you did get to McCarthy, he got away. Right?
He scrambled.
And Kenny Clark said during the week, was that Wednesday? When Kenny Clark said, this guy's elusive. He can slip away from you, McCarthy. And he did. So credit to that young man. But, hey, there were 6 different receivers that caught passes for the Vikings, tight ends included. And every single one of them, their average yards per catch was over 10, double digits for every single one of them. Here's the thing. They got the explosive plays, and the Cowboys didn't.
Yep.
You just cannot allow those explosive plays. But it goes to the point where you're not getting enough pressure on the quarterback, and Nicole's absolutely right. You know, this guy's good enough that if he has time back there, the only time you stopped him on a pass play was when McCarthy missed a throw. And he did. He had several misses. He did. But the other times, he was on it. And it wasn't that it was Justin Jefferson the whole time, you know? The tight ends, they killed you in this game.
And y'all talked about that. Y'all mentioned
that's what they did against the Commanders the week before, where the Vikings won 31-0, and all of the touchdown passes went to the tight ends. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like kind of hurt for this team, this fan base, honestly, the way we know what it means losing to the Vikings. So I think I've never heard so much silence in a hallway after a game. Like, you know, we stand there after every game. That was the quietest. Like, you could hear a pin drop. And I'm thinking of the pregame show, and Bill Jones said he introduced it like, you know, the Vikings shut out a Commanders team last week, 31-0, but a bad defense. And, you know, Isaiah and George gave their takes. And I'm like, the Commanders are a bad defense. Are we a really, really bad defense? Like, they came out here and whooped us too. And I hate that the Cowboys make below average quarterbacks look fantastic. This is his best game in the air all season. And to Christy's point, the stats tell the whole story. Like, everybody got a piece. Everybody ate.
But they show it for the Vikings offense, but not for the Cowboys offense, because the if you just look at the numbers for the Cowboys offense and turn over 400 yards, you didn't turn the ball over. If you just look at this stat sheet, it's like, oh yeah, all right, they got him. They got him. Because they're settling for field goals, and by the way, you missed 2 of those.
Oh, to add on to your point, Bree, shout out to Bobby Belt again.
Facts.
To add on to your point about people coming in here looking like they the best thing on grass, of the 13 teams that the Cowboys have played this year, 8 of them have put up their highest scoring performances of the season. The Giants, the Bears, the Packers, the Panthers, the Broncos, the Cardinals, the Lions, and now the Vikings. So when everybody see you on schedule, they'd be like, hey, we're going to install this. We've been working on this for a couple weeks. Hey, we ain't did this all year. Let's try it with them.
I had to listen. I just wanted to listen a little bit to the Vikings radio this morning.
How was that?
I stopped. I already knew it was coming, but it was just like they got a little juice. Like, they're feeling like
And they got eliminated before the game, right?
They did, because they had a less than 1% chance with what happened earlier in the day. They was zero. They knew. That's what's so frustrating. You had everything to play for, and it
didn't look like the desperation that was really out there.
Yeah.
That was, and they came back from the bye week and just had that fire, and the light just kind of went out.
Like I said,
the light just kind of went out, and brought up the Vikings radio thing because the first thing the guy said was, we know it's against two bad defenses, but, and I'm like,
screaming.
I'm turning it off. I don't want to hear this anymore, because I was like, oh my god.
We can say it, you can't say it.
Yeah, it's like how you can make fun of your sibling, but nobody else can talk about them.
There you go.
Whoa.
Yeah, the Cowboys' run defense. Hey, they did a good job. I thought Aaron Jones was going to be the killer, and no, instead it was McCarthy.
He did when it mattered, though. Mm-hmm. Oh, he make me
when
sick.
He gritty into the end zone.
I just want to. Oh, he make me sick. Every time I see him here, he just. Y'all, it's just, I don't know. He just has a feel for this field. Like, he just is able to get down with the get down. But
he's one of those quarterbacks that once you give him confidence, though, like, it's raps.
Mm-hmm.
Christy, I want to ask about the sidelines because you were there.
Yeah.
I need to know the tea. What was happening on the sidelines, specifically on this defensive side of the ball, just when they were on the field? I want to know.
No, I mean, people think that it's all this remember the Titans kind of stuff going down on the sideline, but it's not. I mean, it's very businesslike, and they come over and, there have been previous years, heck, even last year, where you'll have someone gather the defense up and give a little C to J, a come to Jesus, but it doesn't happen too often, and I can't think of it this year. They're coming to the sideline, the coaches, they're all looking at the pads, right, the surface tablets, and trying to figure out what's going on. So, yeah. I mean, I wish I could tell you that, they're slamming their helmets and, they're kicking the the surface tablets and stuff like that. And it's not like that.
Yeah.
That's not how it is in the NFL. Now, you're going to say, I remember this. And then, sure, the cameras, if something like that happens, then cameras will show it, and it kind of makes it look like that happens all the time, but it doesn't.
Can we talk about the linebacker play for a second?
Okay.
Huh?
We have to.
Yes, we do.
What I mean,
Thoughts?
Demo had a couple of plays, a couple of catalytic plays. Logan Wilson did get the start,
but
and I haven't. What's that?
Murray
But
played
Murray
more,
played
I
more?
believe.
I haven't seen the snap.
Okay, yes,
count,
ma'am. We'll wait for Christy to get
it ended up. I mean, they still were sharing, even though Wilson got the start. There were a couple times where Demo was having to call the plays because he was the only. Both Wilson and Murray were out, so Demo had to take over relaying the play calls from Eberflus, but. It seemed like Marist was.
He
out there
played a
little
lot
bit more. Marist was more.
He played a lot.
I think he had his highest snap count in a long time. So
16.
yeah, does it show for Murray and Wilson?
Yeah, Murray 40% of the snaps at 22, Logan Wilson 29 at 53%.
Okay, so Wilson was more.
More.
And they didn't necessarily alternate series the way they did before, where Murray would take the first series, Wilson would take the second series, then Murray, then Wilson, alternating. They did less of that because Wilson took consecutive series.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Do y'all think that's some of what we're seeing? Well, number one, I think I mentioned I think it was last week, is with Dallas digging the hole that they dug for themselves, putting themselves in position to where you basically in the playoffs right now. You cannot lose a game. How taxing is that mentally, emotionally, to have to pick yourself up like that every game and like try to play through that and exist in a way that like this is an elimination game every game, even though it's not the playoffs, number one. And number two, this coaching staff specifically on the offensive side of the ball is new in a sense of, Shotty has been a play caller before, but he hasn't been a play caller and a head coach. He hasn't had to manage that. Connor Riley came over from Kansas State. You have Clayton Adams that also too. He coached in the NFL for Arizona, but like these guys this is their first time coming together, their first time kind of trying to working together, being in these positions. I wonder if like some of this is growing pains as well with the offense. I feel like that about some of Shoddy, like some of the inefficiency in the red zone and some of the stuff that I just feel like he's still figuring out how to counter, how to adjust, how to do those things. Do y'all feel like any of this is growing pains, or do you feel like this is just what the team is? Does it make sense? Like, are these things that you hope improve?
Sure. I think the offensive coach, all the coaching staff had sleepless night last night.
Yeah.
Because they weren't able to counter what Flores was.
And this is a hard defense to play.
It very much
very
is
unique.
Yeah, it is very unique. But to your first point of knowing that it's basically a playoff game, that whole thing about take them one at a time. Oh my God, I
think it's such correct.
No, I was going to say you get tired of hearing it, but truisms are called truisms because they're true. I mean, they really have had to. I think that the approach really they aware that they have to win to keep their percentages, above 1%, which it is now. Sure, they do, but they're not looking ahead to next week. I mean, they're planning for, and that's what's so frustrating. All week they're planning. They know what they think they know what to expect from the Vikings, and that's the unexpected. And they weren't able to adjust and hit the hot receiver and make the Vikings pay for blitzes and all of the risky things that they do. So I think your thing was, is it too much stress for the players? Because it's basically like
I'm just saying the mental place you got to put yourself in, like, is different. I think, when you dig yourself a hole, and that's what Dak has been saying. He was like, we put ourselves here. You have to dig yourself up out of it. There's no grace.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You don't have when you look at a team like Philly, right? Mm-hmm. They stunk it up for 3 games. They gave themselves that grace. Yeah. Dallas did not do that because they didn't win at the beginning of the season. So the pressure, to me, is different. You don't have the room to, not have a good series, you have to play like perfect for 4, 5, 6 straight games. Does that make sense? I'm trying to explain it best.
Yeah, no, you're keeping your foot on the pedal the whole time, and you can't let it off. Mm-hmm. But it's your own fault.
What you got? Bree, like, I don't care.
I get it. But as a former athlete, like, that should fire you up even more.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I'll come in, knowing this is a must-win game, or even as an individual. I think this isn't an individual sport, but individually, like, when last week, hey, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, or the 2 plays before I wasn't where I needed to be. I don't see that fire and the adjustments because you're continuously seeing the same mistakes. So then I think it's fair to have the conversation. Is it personnel with scheme? See? That's a fair but the want and the fire, and I'm tired. Dak's making $60 million a year. Not a year, but year.
He also getting.
But he's a $60 million quarterback. Kenneth Murray that we keep talking about, he got paid, so that is why you keep seeing him on the field, for clarification,
but
right?
It's like $2.
But that's who Jerry don't like to see money on the bench, and I think that was, for me, the surprise that Trayvon didn't make it out there. When you're talking about the must-win game, when you're talking about putting the best players, was he going to make the biggest difference last night? I don't know, but I would have liked to have seen it because I've seen what else has been showing up, But to the fire and the drive, like. And I feel like I gave them a little slack last week because they did play so many games in that short span. And regardless, they're getting beat up. But to have like that extra break, the mini bye,
you would expect for them to.
I can't even use that, for this game. Like, you had to put this on the line. And again, this team has been through so much this season, right? And to show the fire they did when they came back and played for, Marshawn, and coming out with the flag and just coming together, and to see it just kind of go down. Because a lot of these teams at this point this season don't necessarily have the personnel because they're banged up as well. And to your point, Philly, their offense is disgusting. But they're able to find ways to win, and that's the difference with Dallas. I don't care who's the head coach. I don't care at this point. You have to have the fire. And when you talk to some of the other guys who've played on the winning teams and some, there's a documentary released earlier this year that's pretty motivating, right? Like, you've seen what it takes when this franchise wins. Christy, you've been covering this team. You've seen what it takes, and I just don't feel like...
Well, I would just say that team in the 1990s was superior when it came to talent, period.
Personnel matters.
Personnel matters.
Barnacles.
So I'm not questioning the effort at all. Zero on this team. I'm not questioning the effort. But personnel, yeah.
The glasses came off.
Well, yeah, I think I agree.
Getting real.
When you don't, because that's another thing too. You asking your role player type guys to make, like, when you talk about the personnel, you asking second string guys, backup guys to play like all pro level guys. And I agree with Christy. I think it is, some of it is personnel. And when you don't have the personnel, you're asking these other gentlemen to step up, and they might be able to do it a couple games, but they can't, like, I don't know how many times we see a guy.
Let's use pass rush.
Yeah.
Micah's gone, and terrible news on Micah with
Fresh
the
to
torn
him.
knee. But look, who has stepped up and provided consistent pass rush this year? James Houston has been, at least statistically, your best pass rusher. And, Sam Williams, do they show flashes? Dante Fowler, I think we were expecting more. I'm not picking on anyone here.
Just being honest.
I'm just saying that where's it coming from?
Yeah, and Donovan and Zaraku, these young guys, they get about this time of the season and maybe a little bit earlier, their bodies have to adjust, because by this time in college football, they about to play a bowl game, sit down, or, so there is an acclimation period for rookies as well. We hear about the wall and all that stuff. And so I'm like, yeah, they didn't put the pass rush you haven't seen. We expected. We were talking about it outside of training camp. Who is going to step up? Who's going to be the next guy? And it just really never happened. Most of your pressure this season has come from your interior, not your edge. And okay, it's like we've been asking for it for a long time, and then we get it. It's like when you ask for the snacks you want, and you get them, and it's not going to taste as good. It's like, okay, great, we got interior pressure, but that off-the-edge pressure, the inability to get quick pressure, man, like, he was sitting back there chilling. He was going through his, I watched this man on film. I watched J.J. McCarthy on film. He not no go through 2-3 read person, and he was doing that last night.
Yeah.
Scanning the field.
All right, well, we're going to scan this break.
Well, I'm upset.
It's fine. We'll be right back with more Girls Talk, Boys Talk, and keep diving into this matchup up next. Not you upset.
Heck of a win, fellas.
Coach, the Cowboys beat us by 30 points.
No, I'm talking about my dog. He started eating fresh food from the farmer's dog and has lost 7 pounds.
Your senior dog with joint issues?
That's right, Steven. The pre-portioned meals of real meat and veggies help keep him lean, active, and feeling like a puppy again.
That's incredible. But what about the game?
The Cowboys smoked us. Hit the field, run some sprints.
Get 50% off your first box of the official pet food of the Dallas Cowboys, only at thefarmersdog.com/Cowboys.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for us. If the men in your life bleed blue and silver like we do, I've found the perfect way to elevate their game day rituals. Gillette just released their best razor in Cowboys colors, and it is everything a Cowboys fan could want. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor combines his Cowboys pride with Gillette's best shave. And with 50% longer lasting blades, it is truly the gift that keeps on giving. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's best shave is also available as heated.
Photos with Santa at the Star, presented by Monument Realty. Santa will be spreading holiday cheer from November 21st all the way through Christmas Eve. For more information and to book your visit, head to thestardistrict.com/Santa.
Welcome back into Girls Talk Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWBC studio. Nicole Hutchison, Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison. Ladies, I've got a question to ask y'all. What's one thing that you went into this game like having a lot of confidence that Dallas, I'll start with defense, Dallas' defense would have done, but didn't do?
Make J.J. McCarthy uncomfortable.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought they'd get a couple picks. I know they got one, but that was a defensive lineman off of a deflected pass. I thought that the secondary was going to get pick him a couple times.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that they were going to blitz him far more. I thought they were going to be a little bit more aggressive with how they tried to kind of change the picture for him on the back end and stuff like that. So that was probably the most disappointing thing for me is the numbers are very clear.
No sacks?
No sacks, yeah. No sacks.
They didn't even.
Thought they was gonna.
They didn't even pinch the.
Yeah, I saw your video. And you were like, how many sacks is
How
Dallas
many?
going to
I was
get?
hyped. I was hyped. I was
You were.
bought in.
Did you?
I was bought in.
She tweeted a video, and she was like, how many sacks are the Cowboys going to get today?
Kitty.
It's fine.
Pretty
It's all good.
please.
It's all good. On the offensive side of the ball, what was something that disappointed you, but you thought they were going to go in, and you had a lot of confidence they would go in and have success doing it?
Yeah, I thought they were going to catch him on a couple of big plays. Take advantage, and with hot routes and things like that.
Yeah.
Or and they didn't. They didn't get the big plays, the catalytic play.
That's fair.
Yeah, the quarterback.
Hey, Tatum came in here and said,
Tatum said, we said pop your stuff. Tatum said, hey, we hearing he the best against the blitz.
he ain't ready. That's what she said.
We gotta see it.
Call her back.
Call
I'm
your
not.
shot, sister.
No.
Don't get it twisted. Dak was under a lot of duress, but there were instances where he didn't see the field well, where he had, guys open and he wasn't able to get there, or he could have just clock could have been sped up, whatever. But I just thought he would be able to navigate things a little bit better for you, and he's been able to do that all season. He couldn't save you yesterday. The third downs was atrocious.
Good. I thought Pickens slant it was going to be something where he likes to catch the ball, where this team, we talked about leaving the middle of the field open. I thought that was going to be somewhere they ate.
It was open too.
Yeah, disappointed.
That disappointed you.
Just a little bit, because I'm like, but you know what? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the game plan was.
Y'all not gonna be disappointed, Bree, cause she.
We ain't got no control over that.
They gotta stop disappointing Bree. Bree is literally, she's a pessimist for the most part. So if she start believing in you and you fail, you cook. You never coming back.
Crazy.
This game just was not in my mind.
Yeah.
At the game you
Ever
lose.
going to be
No.
never.
You shouldn't have lost this game. This it was unacceptable to lose this game. They got a lot of mixed soul searching to do.
Yeah, there's Chargers, you got Washington, and then you got Giants up next. Soul searching, where do they start?
Huh?
Where are you starting? If you're the Cowboys, where are you starting with your soul searching?
I'm evaluating for next season, so I get it right this time from the beginning.
You might just start playing. We might just start seeing them play some guys that maybe we haven't seen, or guys in different positions. I don't know.
Jade and Blue.
They're gonna be evaluating. They want to
Perfect
win
in mind.
games.
Pull them up. Let me see.
They want to win games, but they want to. What about you, Christy?
Yeah,
what
not like-
typically happens in this in this type of situation? What do you see from other coaches?
It's guys playing for pride and playing for jobs and playing
free
playing
agency.
for next year and free. When I mean jobs, I mean with the league.
Yeah.
Not just trying to stay here with the Cowboys.
Oh
So,
wow, yeah, they got to put good tape out there. For themselves.
Film don't lie, and so they're trying to put good film out there.
Christy, can I ask Christy a question?
Yeah,
Christy. So and Bree, can I want both of y'all to comment on. We haven't talked about it, but Aubrey, like that. And again, I personally feel like stop putting him in position to have to kick 50+ yard field goals all the time. Cause what the heck? But what did you ladies notice? Was there anything that you ladies noticed, Nicole? Like, did anything y'all notice on the field?
No, it looked like the operation was
good.
Clean.
Mm-hmm. It looked normal to me.
It looked normal to you too.
He made 4 of them.
Yeah.
We're just so
spoiled.
Spoiled.
I agree.
Yeah, we're spoiled that we've gotten accustomed to Aubrey's going to be perfect every time, and unfortunately, he is human.
He said, "I could have an off game." Dang,
he had that. He had that great run, got his first down, and then I'm like, I wish it all came together in this game for him.
Yeah.
But somebody texted me and was like, it was the second missed field goal from him, and they were like, I blame the kicker. I said, wait a minute, because these type of field goals for a regular kicker aren't happening. And we're just so used to it. And then I threw out, your kicker wouldn't have made this. And I just left it at that. Like, if we're just being honest. That's why I'm not reading too much. Like, yeah, it sucks. It's disappointing because this probably... It just, I'm like, I blame the rest of the team.
I do too.
For bringing the spirit to him because he's normally not the problem. Somehow I'm still blaming the rest of the team. Aubrey can do no wrong in my eyes. But
they put a spirit on him.
I think we all agree that this was just an uncharacteristic game. He still deserves to get paid this offseason and what have you. So
5 of your possessions were field goals.
Why are you laughing so hard?
Bree said they came over there with that spirit and they got on our kicker.
That's the only thing.
They better go somewhere with that messing up stuff spirit.
That's the only thing that makes it.
Bree is.
On that note, that's a wrap for today's show. For Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, I'm Nicole Hutchinson. We'll see y'all back here Wednesday because we will not have a show tomorrow. So thank y'all for watching. We'll be back here Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. Are you okay?
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!